Hello, world, and happy St. Patrick's Day from IBM.TV World News. I am your host, Kimberly Calhoun, all the way from Raleigh, North Carolina in the United States. And today is a great day to celebrate, even if you have to celebrate at home. And some of the things that we do for celebration of St. Patrick's Day, of course, will generally include things like let's see if I can get a picture of, but beer, right? Drinking beer. And I'm going to tell you, folks, one of the best ways they have discovered to hydrate your body, this isn't for kids, is beer. This was in a National Geographic article a few years ago, and the article indicated the 4 top best ways to hydrate. Of course, they listed others aside from water, right? So get plenty and plenty of water during this time of emergencies. One of the things that we are here to talk about this day and from now until it's over is COVID-ID. Or COVID-19. Sorry, guys, I'm a little tired. COVID-19 is affecting all of us, each and every one of us. It impacts us all. And the reason is that it's not just about catching the flu or a cold or anything else. It's about the impact it's making on all of us around the world because of economics, because of all the things that have to shut down. Now, one of the things, whenever we're dealt with a situation that we have to have an emergency shutdown, I don't know how long it's been since the whole world has had this we got to shut down now feeling. But let's talk about this, folks. Many holidays have been suspended. Many large events have been suspended. I think all large events have suspended. The CDC made an announcement yesterday. They want events in your local community to maintain to 50 only. That is their advice. The CDC is supposedly the world's most reliable resources for diseases. Of course, National Foundation of Infectious Disease is also one of the world's most renowned for reliable resources. We also have the World Meter. And let's take a look at the World Meter and what's happening today with the World Meter. How many viruses do we have today? And why this has become such a big pandemic scare globally for everyone. If you take a look at the numbers, of course, excuse the advertising, we've reached over 188,000. Now, this meter is not updated, but once a day at 12 noon. So every day at 12 noon, that meter will be updated. But please, folks, don't everybody just say, oh, I'm going to go hit the CDC site. These sites have thresholds, and eventually they will crash, and we don't want them to crash for the people who need them. This is very, very important information. Some of the things that we are doing here at IBM.TV is bringing you world news, sharing with you information from around the world. We've had our global board of advisors dial in from all over the world and sharing what's going on in their part of the world. We have had guests dial in from all over the world, some lovely stories about what's happening all over the world. And we've had people emailing us what's happening all over the world. We are also going to have some special guests from the government join us this week. But let's talk about this. We had somebody email us yesterday from Uganda, and his message to us is we're fine. We haven't seen any sign of the virus here as of yet, but we're prepared and we're ready because we're watching you. We're watching you and learning. Now, again, IBM.TV, we're not creating our own stories. We are generally basically reading to you what we get from the reliable resources from CDC, or sometimes we even play back their videos for you. Why can't you just go to them? You can, but we're going out to all of them and compiling all of their information here. Another reliable and great resource is National Geographic. Go out and read what will this virus do to my body. This is very, very good information. We need to be very transparent about what it can do to your body. We don't need to panic or fear. We need to have this information so that we know how to make good decisions for our own self and our own health and safety. And that's very, very important. I know that if I had known what this disease could do to my body, I probably would not have traveled through the month of January. I probably would have shut down myself. I feel like that if we had taken this attitude about it immediately and shut all the borders where ground zero had occurred, rather than hiding it from the public at the time, I think that we would have prevented this disease. North Carolina had 5 people come back from a event 2 weeks ago. It was a biochemistry event of all things, and they all 5 had the coronavirus ID. When you get this coronavirus, you don't go into quarantine. You need to go into what they call self-isolation. If you feel like you have it, there are symptoms that you need to look for and criteria that they look for when they do an examination via remote with you. And they're going to ask you a few questions. You can go to the CDC Centers for Disease and look for a link that will tell you how to get a test kit. There are other sites that do that. The University of Alabama had posted some. My computer is suffering as well, probably from the COVID-19 hackers virus. But let's talk a little bit about the truth of why are we panicking over this if we only have 188,000 with, the rates are going up, 7,400 deaths, when we know that there are other things that kill our societies and communities at a far more accelerated rate. And we ask ourselves, hey, why are we not doing a pandemic on the flu itself? Well, I think it's because of when you get over the flu, generally you're over the flu. Your body is not damaged permanently. The impact that this disease has on the human body is the reason why there is such a pandemic scare and why the government has even been scared. Now, the coronavirus is called corona because it has spikes all over it. And if you look at this hateful pine ball, let's see if you can see how many spikes it has. Check it out, folks. Yeah, I hate these things, sweet gum balls. It took me hours to find a couple of these because we rid our yard of the maker of them. Ground zero for these have disappeared. But this to me is an image of what the coronavirus would look like. And imagine 1,000 of these going into your body. Now, what they say happens is that your body will start to scar. Ground zero in your body is your lungs. And they say it makes a honeycomb scarring effect. This is the closest thing to a honeycomb I can get without getting sick because I'm allergic to bees. But if you look at all the holes there, that's pretty much to me what a honeycomb might look like. Or you can go look at this month's National Geographic. There's a beautiful article on bees and honeycombs. And by the way, that's a great way to spend your day while you're spending it at home if you are self-isolated or if you're told by your community, folks, just stay home until we get this contained. It takes about 4 weeks to incubate in the body. 4 weeks of incubation period. One of the things I want to share with you. Good morning, Sasha.
Good morning. Great to see you.
My friend from Russia, folks. As I told you, we have people dialing in from all over the world. Just a little bit of sharing with you. Today is our beloved St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone.
Cheers.
Do you celebrate St. Patrick's Day in your part of the world?
Oh, it's a big holiday here in Canada, in Toronto, and there will be no parade as I know today. But normally it's celebrated and will be celebrated forever.
So Sasha is in Canada. Yeah, but St. Patrick's Day is quite a story. If you're bored, go read it. It's got pirates and kidnapping and all kinds of drama. It's something that I never knew until I sat down and read the story of St. Patrick's Day. So if you're bored today, go read about St. Patrick's Day. One of the ways we celebrate St. Patrick's Day is with a pint of beer. And in National Geographic, we learned that beer is a great way to hydrate your body. It's one of the top 10 resources. Plus, it's got vitamin B12 in it. So enjoy your beer today. But let's talk about what's going on where you're at, Sasha, with COVID-19.
Well, it's a very unusual issue because obviously there was nothing like that at all. And there are so many issues interwoven into this. First of all, it's a health medical issue, it's economics, it's politics. There are so many different outlooks on that. Even yesterday I had a meeting with a friend of mine. Actually, he's a chess grandmaster, Evgeny Bariev, who moved here from Russia about 5 years ago. And he was telling me his thoughts about that. They are extremely controversial, and I'm not going to share those thoughts with you because I disagree with them. But it was very interesting that he was very adamant about certain things, what he believes in. Generally speaking, in Canada, it's a warlike situation. Everybody's taking it, not everybody, but most people, my vast majority of people are taking it extremely seriously. My daughter is absolutely paranoid on this subject, and we just came back from vacation 3 weeks ago now. We saw her once, and our grandchildren not even once. We didn't see them. And now they went to cottage for 2 weeks, so we will not see them for another 2 weeks at least. And I have no idea where I'm going to see my grandchildren. Well, we'll see them one day, I'm pretty sure. So it's a warlike situation. As you know, Canada closed its borders completely, allowed to come to Canada only to Canadian nationals and U.S. nationals.
Wow.
All others are excluded.
That's a huge thing in the chess world. I live among the chess cult, as Nick and I call it, because you guys generally have to play face to face the chess games, and it can be very it's not a contact sport, but usually within 6 feet, which they're telling us to stay, more than 6 feet away from each other. So there's a lot going on about, what exactly is it that, you're shutting. This is big for you guys when you can't play your chess games. Can you do something online? Can you make it virtual?
Yeah, especially in times like today. For example, today I just got yesterday a message that our local chess club will be closed today. So it's about time to play online. Now, online there is one huge problem. There is a lot of cheating. People are using engines, and sometimes it's very frustrating that you're playing much lower rated players. As you know, in chess, everyone gets rating. For example, a rating of a world champion is probably about 2850 plus something. 2850. My rating is say around 2200. So it's not that great. But sometimes you play online with, say, 1800 player. You should beat him easily. All of a sudden, you see he's doing a lot of very unexpected things, strong moves, and you can lose to him simply because that player is using engine. So it's kind of a peculiar situation. There is no hide. When you are playing, say, 2400 player, so he's just destroying you because he's a stronger player, he's a better player, so okay, you're losing to him. But then you're playing 1800 player, and you're losing to him because he probably, most likely, using engines. There is no place to hide.
Right.
So on our side, Chess Stars, we came up with a new type of chess competition, which allows people to watch the game online, played by the top experts, grandmasters sometimes. And all you have to do is to guess their moves before they're being made. So that's interesting activity because that allows you, first of all, it's very enjoyable. Um, I've done it so many times, and you can ask Michael Hofer. At one point, he just got crazy about that. Although he won a few contests, and he was so, it was probably the happiest time of his life, and he's providing commentaries for this contest. So it's a great equalizer in terms that all people, sometimes we have grandmasters who are guessing the moves. Actually, on the opening, we had Gary Kasparov, who was providing comments, and he was also guessing the moves. He didn't do that well because his level of understanding of chess is superior probably to anybody. So his vision of the moves that are supposed to be made is well above the players who were playing the games. Although the games were played by top people, it was Wesley So, U.S. superstar, and women's grandmaster Alexandra Kostyanyuk from Russia. So they were not partners by any means, but Kasparov's vision is probably well above this level. But anyway, he enjoyed it, and later on he endorsed activity. It was a very interesting experience. This is what.
Hello. Okay, so Sasha's been sharing with us some things that we can be doing. Good morning, Ankit. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. You know, Sasha, we need to get you online and teaching people how to play chess so that we can get these tournaments going back up and running when this whole pandemic scare is gone.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do. We need to get you and Michael and Nick, all the great chess players online. We need to have a show just for that. We need to have just a chess show so you guys can teach us how to get our skill up, how to get our ratings up. Today, we're talking about the COVID-19 and some of the restrictions that are coming down on people. I want to share with you how smart North Carolina is. You know, CDC says have events and keep them at 50 people. Make sure your people are at least, 6 to 10 feet away from each other, but no more than 50 people. And we still advise that you stay home. But if you have to have an event, you just need to get together 50 people. Now, North Carolina, oh, heck no, we're a little bit tougher than that. We're going to do 100 people. We'll set the limits to 100 people and, stay 6 feet apart. And so I'm sitting here going, okay, that's, let's just infect more people here. But, the CDC is there for a reason. They weren't always transparent with us in the beginning about this disease, about the damage it creates the body, so that we can make better decisions for ourselves. They admit that they withheld this in classified meetings, but we know what the dangers are. You can see what they look like. If you look at this photo, they're spiky viruses. That's why they call them corona. They look like a crown. They enter the body through the throat, they say, and ground zero is the lungs. They will attach themselves to the lungs, and they will turn your lungs into what looks like a honeycomb. They will tear your lungs up to look like a honeycomb. If you don't want a better view of a honeycomb, go to National Geographic. This is where I got my information from about what happens to the body. You can go to National Geographic. National Geographic this month, they were sharing about honey and bees. But Ankit, can you give us a little bit of an update about what our world stats are? And good morning.
Yeah. Good morning. How are you?
Fine.
How are you, Sasha?
Thank you. Very good. Looking forward to your information.
Yeah. Just give me a minute. I'll just share the stats. It's growing at 10% of uh, increase every day, and we have around 188,551 cases so far, which and also the deaths are also increasing by around 10%, which is 7,500, and recovery is also going with 10%. Uh, but I've read a lot of bad news since morning about France, about Italy, about Spain, about Germany. So I am not sure whether it's a good day about Corona or a bad day. If I'll break up the country-wise stats, so we are not getting any news from China. It's just that China is playing safe games and they are trying to recover with other Corona symptoms, basically. So we have more deaths in Italy as compared to what it was yesterday, and Iran is also about to reach 1,000. So we have one new death in India as well. So now our death rate is 3 as compared to other countries. Spain is growing with more cases than any time before. So it's 1,467 new cases, and Spain is also. I mean, comparing the same thing with the 90s flu, what happened in Spain in 90s initially, in that flu also million of people died. Same goes with Germany and Korea. Germany is also growing 1,000 people a day. New cases every day. There's new cases going around. USA with 85 new cases, and you can see the death rates. I mean, in each and every quarter, I mean, it's growing every day. So it's a matter of concern, and it's a global crisis. All the major countries in have declared the global crisis, and they are trying to lock down. France have locked down, and they have put around 100,000 cops on the street. And same goes with other countries. India is also locked down with all the best medical care what they can offer. Uh, if I'll quickly go to Australia, so we have 51 new cases, but there are no new deaths. So 5 deaths, which was the last number. And if I go to India, so Hong Kong is also doing fairly fine. They have new cases, but there is no new death. So India, we have one new death, and then we have around 137 cases. So we are growing around 10 cases a day every year, every day basically, 10 new cases, and we have one new death. That is the
Wow.
number right now. So so this is
Do
like
we
this
have any
basically. If you
stats in
see,
the U.S.?
yeah, I'll show it with the US stats as well.
So that
So US,
death rate has climbed considerably since last week, hasn't it?
yeah, yeah. Since since yesterday and today also. Yesterday it was around 6,900, and today is 7,500. So 600 more deaths. So I think we it's a panic in terms of people who are not taking the right precautions, and it's time to reunite and fight with the best possible manner what we can. And India is doing good because WHO also appreciated the efforts of Indian government and how India is working towards fighting against the coronavirus. So that is all. I wanted to show you that gun what we used in India. So I'll show
Yes,
you
please.
later part of the show. Yeah.
Please. Maybe
So
this
apart,
is something that we can buy for our homes.
yeah, we must buy for home. Yeah. Just give me a moment.
Kim, where's the background music coming from?
I think that is Ankit. Where are you at, Ankit?
I'm at Starbucks.
Ah, you got a beautiful background.
Yeah.
That's very
So I
beautiful.
was at work, so I didn't get time. So I thought I'll start from the Starbucks itself. That's how people meet and greet each other around the world.
Yes. Yes, we have a lot. I have a really cute coffee shop up the road, privately owned. It's less than a mile, and that's where everybody meets. It's not a
Yeah.
Starbucks, but it
Okay.
is a coffee shop. It's really cute.
Nice.
But I've kind of decided to do self isolation. There's a difference between isolation and quarantine, and I learned
Yeah.
this yesterday. Isolation is when you definitely know you have it and you need to isolate. Um, they don't. It's like they tell you to, but they're not enforcing it in the U.S. like they are in Willie's country in Australia, where they fine you. But quarantine is when they believe there might be a situation in an area, and they hold everybody down to in a hospital, and they quarantine you there until they know that you don't, and then they release you. But Ankit, you were going to show us the gun.
Yeah, I'll just show it to you.
All right. Ah, check this out.
Check this out. I'll be back with the gun.
Okay. And this isn't a gun that shoots you, people. This is a gun that helps you. But while Ankit's looking for a gun, we've got Nick who's joining us. Good morning, Nick.
Hello.
Nick, you sound like a chipmunk. Can you fix your headset? You sound like a chipmunk. If anything, people should watch us for the laugh that we are trying to get our technology to work. We're working from home, which is very important. Look at Ankit's got a gun.
So that's the gun these people use it basically.
Okay. So how do you use it?
So it has that number basically, which pops up once you put that gun on the forehead, and it's like a ready shot basically. So if I put it on my face like this, can you see the number?
Well, if I zoom in on the screen, I can, or if people are watching on TV, they can, but I can't.
If you can zoom in, I think it would be easy because that is what people are using to mark everyone, to check the temperature, and then people who have more temperature, I mean, they're not allowing inside the malls or hospitals or cafes or things like that.
So that's a good precaution.
Yeah.
Do they believe that that's when you're contagious, is when you have a fever, or do they believe that it's before you have the fever?
So basically, it's a precaution when someone is suffering from fever, they don't have to come out. That's what the precaution is. And also, people who have fever and they are more prone to the symptoms, they avoid those people to come and sit and use the cafes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good morning, Nick. You sound like a chipmunk. Tell Alexa to fix your sound. You sound like a chipmunk. Fix your headset. Plug it in, plug it out. He sounds like a chipmunk, doesn't he? So I want to talk about the pandemic scare that we're in the middle of. And I want to share something with you guys because, everybody says, the flu kills more people every year than the coronavirus will. But we know that the coronavirus is just more dangerous in the body. But let's talk about this. 137 women a day are killed by their families in the UN alone. That's 137 women a day to domestic violence. We have data in the U.S. It's 12 million women a year are victims. I don't see us doing a pandemic scare and a run on guns to protect ourselves. And I'm kind of joking on this a little bit because thank God, right? But the reason is that this disease can be contracted to anyone. The flu can be contracted to anyone, but you can recover from the flu, correct? When you recover from the flu, your body's not permanently damaged. There are different things that are happening there, but there are ways to do it. We wash our hands and we do namaste, right? We no contact. We give everybody a blessing when we say hello, or we salute them, as our friend Sasha suggested the other day. Let's salute people. Nick. Oh my gosh, you sound like a chipmunk. Have you been breathing in helium? Does he sound like helium? So
it looks like
the impact of this, Sasha, and where you're at, are the streets empty, or have you stayed home? Sasha's putting on his hat and he is heading off to the island. Hey, and Kid's got his glasses. We're all taking off, right? I'm gonna get my glasses on. All I need is a private jet.
Okay, how's this microphone? Is this better, or is Chipmunk still here?
Now it's better.
Yes, you sound much better. I'm gonna.
Okay, because I have the solution for the coronavirus. Okay,
Woo!
You're going to have to give me just 1 minute. I'll be back with the solution. Give me a minute.
Nick has a solution.
Somebody had to come up with it, and I figured it out. Just a minute.
I hope it's not a body condom. We're all going to be wearing this big rubber suit. But somebody needs, well, happy St. Patrick's Day. But people, yes, there are other things that we need to be concerned about, that we need to invest our money in. I don't think we need to be investing our money in robocalls and stopping them. I think we can stop those ourselves. I think we need to take that money and put it towards fixing a problem that has been with us for years, and we've stopped researching it once we contained it. We know that coronavirus has been in our lives since what, 2012, maybe even before. And so we need to continue research. We don't need to stop researching just because we contained it. We never found a cure for it in the past, and we need to continue researching until we find a cure. Right now, the best thing is avoid it. Avoid it by no contact. And so, Ankit, do you have any solutions? Because Nick's coming up with one.
I just have a solution that, we have to be calm and then just wait for a couple of weeks, and then I think situation will calm down. But we have to have, we have to track that coronavirus globally at some platform so that it should not repeat. Because I believe that it could come back basically, because the world is so big and the virus can sustain for at some place, and there are a lot of carriers to the virus. So the concern is how we can sanitize the whole world, and that is only possible once we unite ourselves.
And I agree. I think it's going to boil down to how we continue researching this after this is over. We need to.
I think today's corona, tomorrow will be something else. So I think
that's
we have
right.
to
Live
just,
today.
Focus and
live today, so we can play and rebuild tomorrow. Just 4 weeks, people.
Yeah.
I have done self-isolation. I don't like it. I think you will get cabin fever, but you know what? That's good news for the tour agencies that are taking a hit now, because travel is going to skyrocket once we're given a release. So, is it toilet paper, Nick? Do we use the bag and put it over our head? There we go. Hold on, folks. I'm going to put Nick up. Nick is going on full screen. There's our solution, folks. Toilet paper. That's the multi-billion-dollar investment. That's the multi-billion-dollar investment. That's what we need to do to protect ourselves. Thank you, Nick. Nick has found the problem. It was interesting, though, because we found out about that problem from somebody in another country saying, hey, this is a problem we're having. And we were able to share it. And then prepare for it happening to us, because I couldn't believe it, but it happened to us. Did that happen up in Canada, Sasha?
Sorry?
Did that happen in Canada? Did they have a run on food and toilet paper?
Yes, absolutely.
Hey, it just took a while to find out the solution.
It's just, I think last time I went to a store to pick up some stuff, for half an hour I couldn't find a place to park my car. And believe it or not, it wasn't like a Walmart or Costco. It was a small, exclusive Italian, basically it's a supermarket, but small, have very exclusive stuff. I couldn't couldn't park the car. And then I couldn't find this trolley to load the stuff. And some people were getting 2 full trolleys of foods and supplies and all kinds of stuff. So it was quite a day. So for next 2 days, I didn't go anywhere. I just stayed home and watched Netflix and talking to my daughter occasionally. Yesterday, I played, my wife, Nava, we played 30 blitz games, 5 minutes each. And I lost 17-13, which is not so bad. Could be worse.
17-13, that's huge in my book. Is that how many games you play, or is that the score?
We played, it's score. We played.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm thinking how many games you played.
Sure.
That's a lot of. I would think, wow, that's a lot of games.
Yeah,
right. I've watched people play speed chess and play different things like that, and it goes fast. Where's Nick? Nick. Okay,
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, and Kit, you've got something to share with us. And Kit's got something to share.
So since morning, there's a news coming from US that they have some kind of a vaccine made by a person in Seattle about the coronavirus, and they're starting the trial soon. Same thing happening in Israel and China as well, but people rely about US, and that is the news. I mean, everyone can see and follow. I'm not sure you can confirm me whether this is going on or what, because it says that Washington Health Research Institute in Seattle have some kind of a vaccine, and they're trying to go for a trial soon. Do you have any idea about this news?
No,
I've actually.
Am I correct in saying Seattle, Washington was one of the first places that it was contracted in the U.S.?
Yes.
So maybe we can get our DA to join us one day and talk about what actions they're taking. That's good news. The vaccine will help prevent it. They told us yesterday on the news here, the local news here, that there is no medicine for it, no treatment other than stay home and drink a lot of water. That's all they told us. In fact, over at Campbell University, our very intelligent Secretary of Health said, nothing actually yesterday. Everything she said, we don't know. But, we are going to not listen to the CDC, who says keep only 50 people in an event. We're going to do 100 people. We're going to make sure that they're 6 feet apart instead of 10 feet apart. But North Carolina, I guess, we have a better immune system. So more about the coronavirus. Let's talk about keeping safe.
So how to keep yourself safe? So I think whatever precautions you can take in your daily life, you just have to add more to it. So wash your hands every 10 minutes. Use a tissue for cups. Avoid touching your face.
How can I
avoid doing what? Avoid doing what? Ken, I didn't hear you.
I said avoid touching your face.
Oh
yeah, no touching the face.
Okay, well, I'm not doing it.
And avoid putting this to your face.
Yeah.
Avoid doing what, Kim? I couldn't hear you.
Here, avoid this.
No.
Don't do this. I do this because I cleaned my phone, but don't do this.
I think the best thing to do is avoid people and watch IBM TV, because you can avoid people and just watch it on the internet.
And you can watch us struggle technically.
And the technical challenges that exist on our wonderful setup. Hey, are we gonna be doing this on Friday, Kim?
Yes, and let me.
Are you gonna send me the link in advance? Can you do that?
Yes, I thought I sent everybody this link last night, but my computers and internet have been down. But I got it because Sasha was on. So
I know Sasha got on, and I was watching, and I couldn't find the invite. Sasha got on, but he is technologically superior to the rest of us.
Oh yeah.
And Kit got on
Oh, yeah.
because he's a techno geek. But what about people like me? I mean, I need this thing spoon fed to me, or I can't do jack. You know. And so the thing is, if you have the link and you can send it to me, I'll get some people on, special guest on Friday, and we'll have a good session.
Okay.
I think we
So,
can sort out that link issue basically. If we have a dedicated link, I think we don't have to look for the links again and again.
Right. Now we're limited to 6 people on, right? On this service.
6 people. They've upped it to 6. It was 5 the other day, but we've got 6 screens now that we can use. So they have been working with this. This is StreamYard. We're using StreamYard. They have been very helpful.
Right.
So I can't complain
Because it works. I mean, I was able to see it on YouTube TV, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, and it's easy to use. You know, I can easily change banners and, tell people, like, I can put up a banner and say, hey, folks, make sure you go and register on GoLiv at IBM.tv, and we'll send you a link to dial in. We are going to be expanding our abilities. I can tell everybody Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yes, I know. That's today. I got
celebrate at home. And hey, I want to ask you guys, do you know who St. Patrick is and how he got the name and what his life was like?
Nobody knows the history.
So let me explain to you. It is a fascinating story. It's got pirates, it's got kidnapping and drama. I had no idea St. Patrick was so amazing. I really didn't. So, but happy St. Patrick's Day. But as you can see, StreamYard makes our life very, very easy. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the symptoms, Ankit.
So symptoms are high temperature. We can check it through the gun. Then we have to make sure that if someone is coughing, so he might be more prone to coronavirus if he's not having the corona symptoms directly, and the breathing difficulties. That are the basic symptoms. Apart from that, people have a fatigue body, and then they have some kind of a body ache also. So if they have these kind of issues, they can reach out to the doctor on a call, and they have to look for a corona testing kit and make themselves treated as soon as possible. But if you have some kind of symptoms, I think you don't have to go out. Keep yourself isolated at home and let the doctor do his work. That's what we can suggest and request to everyone, because I think right now we just have to request everyone that if someone is having some kind of symptoms, then stay at home and keep yourself isolated, so that the rest of the humanity will live a longer life.
That's right. And you can order a lot of the things you need delivered to you. You can check and make sure that it's not going to have any contamination on it by spraying it before you bring it in your house. I'm sure Amazon is still out there delivering, and they're taking precautions. But you can have food delivered. Don't panic. There's going to be plenty of stuff out there. But self-contained, take some very good measures. Ankit, share your gun with us again. Folks, don't go out and buy up every gun out there, but Ankit has a gun that we should be using to test our bodies. When you have a fever, it can mean many other things besides that you have coronavirus, right, guys?
Yeah. I also let me see if I can get a artificial intelligence in here.
That's the gun we have.
Yeah, there's the gun. There's the gun you need. Ankit, show him how you use it. Show him how you use it.
Have to put it on. We just have to put it on like this, and the number will flow.
Look, there's a red dot. You see the red dot?
That's it. Yeah. Right. Oh, it tells you your temperature?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty
Hold
cool.
on. I'm going to zoom in on Ankit. Hold on.
All right.
See?
93, 94. I see. You're freezing. You're supposed to be like 98.6, I thought.
So that's it.
I hope that's not Celsius. They would kick him out.
True.
Right?
That's an easy gun to carry, and then it's basically filtered out from the audience that who have the symptoms and who doesn't have the symptoms.
Okay. I'm going to see if I can get a solution to the coronavirus. Just a minute. I'm going to ask Alexa. Alexa, solution to the coronavirus.
What did she say?
Travel to China and South Korea and to take preventive actions. These actions include washing hands, limiting touching the face, avoiding contact with those who are sick, remaining at home if sick, covering coughs or sneezes with a tissue, and disinfecting items frequently touched.
Travel
Okay.
to
Okay,
or avoid travel to Korea.
That's the solution from Alexa, for what it's worth.
What did she say about Korea? I missed that.
Oh, just a minute. I have to bring her back here. She's very shy. Anyway.
Everybody, that's Nick's best friend.
I have my best friend. It's right here. It's Alexa. Okay. Alexa, coronavirus in Korea. Alexa, coronavirus in Korea.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
She didn't give me an answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Alexa.
Actually, we heard the other day, Mexico, Africa, those are good places to go to remain safe.
Alexa, South Korea coronavirus.
Sorry, I still didn't get that.
Okay, she's not answering.
I thought she said something.
Alexa, stop.
I want everybody to know I'm not wearing green, but I do have it.
I can't do anything about this
I
artificial.
don't have anything green to wear.
Alexa, find a solution to the coronavirus.
So people,
Alexa, stop. She didn't find it. She goes, solutions aren't available. Clinical
so the other thing I want to share with people, this is probably the dirtiest, most contagious traveling thing you could ever have on your person.
Yeah.
I don't expect people to do this every time they transmit it. It's not paper, it's a cloth material, so I'm certain diseases stay in there.
Yeah, no, it is. It's actually very dangerous, and I can tell you what you can do. You can send it to me for testing. I have no problem with that. I'll give you my address. So if you got too much of that laying around your house, just let me know. I do testing, no charge. Okay, just send it to me. I'll give you.
There you have it, people. Nick is going to do coronavirus testing.
Coronavirus testing on all the app. Send it over. Okay.
Actually, contact us at GoLiv at ibm.tv. We'll send you the address.
That's right. Yeah. So, you get the support a lot.
Advertiser will be no additional charges.
No additional charges. No. No, the thing is, we're totally free, and we'll take care of it for you. So we can handle that part of your life. But anyway, the Dow right now is stable. It's up 121. It was down 30, but it's relatively stable right now.
What happened yesterday? I heard that they closed.
Yeah, they did. It went down about 3,000 points. It took a big dump because of the thing is, I expect that might happen again next Monday because the news I just don't think is going to be good going through. And the real problem is when you hit the weekend, then you get a lot of bad news. And so the thing is, Mondays when the markets open, they react to the news. And the news isn't good. As a matter of fact, one of the real problems is that because we're taking measures to stop the coronavirus, we may stop that, but at what cost to the economy? And the cost of the economy can also take lives just as well as anything else because people need money to eat. Okay, they can't make money because they can't work, and so it may go on. Yeah, this effect may go on longer than the coronavirus. At least stay with it. So we have some serious problems we're going to face economically in the future. Restaurants are closed. What just closed the other day? The universities are all closed here. The restaurants are closed.
All the schools closed here. K through 12 closed.
Schools have closed. I know Campbell University just got their first coronavirus case. They're closed. And so as we go around the country, almost everything is closed.
Casinos.
Business. Yeah, and so the real problem is when you close everything, it does have a negative effect on the economy. By the way, air specials are up. You know, Southwest just announced an air special, $199. Anywhere you want to go on their route system, which is really reasonable. Some are even less. So the thing is,
Wait, is that any time? Like I can book it in for 6 months from now, or is that I have to
I
go
believe
now?
so. I think you can do it anytime right now.
Awesome.
So the thing is, if you want to travel, it's a great time to travel, even though they advised against it. The real problem is if you travel to certain countries, you may not be able to come back. Okay, so I was going to go to India to visit Ankit, but then I realized first of all, they won't let me in, and then if I do get in, USA won't let me back. So
You'll be just like that Tom Hanks movie where he was locked in the airport. Was that Tom Hanks?
yes, it was. I believe so. But yeah, he was trapped
The
in the
movie
airport.
where he was locked in the airport.
Yeah, and oddly enough, that was actually based on a true story. So the thing is, this is the real practical problem that we're seeing. The theaters are closed. Regal Theaters and AMC just announced the closure of all the movies. So I knew it was a bad time to launch a movie, but if you want to watch a movie in a theater, you can't. They closed all the theaters here, and that's pretty big for the movie industry. So, Ankit, as soon as you get those movies from India that we can stream on IBM TV, the better, because you can't watch. You can't watch any.
And I've been posting free movies that I find out there. I've been adding them to our network. They are free movies.
Yeah.
I go out and kind of preview them, and I've been uploading free. So you can go to our movies channel and click, and all the movies I'm selecting are free. I'm not getting any. I'm not adding any of the pay per view. I'm trying to give people something free to do at home.
Yeah, and so the thing is, we have a big sector of our economy that's just been hit really hard, and the real question is, how long are they going to be hit, and when will they recover? So those are the two unknowns. And I think, like I said, we're going to know more the next couple weeks. They did have, I think the amount of coronavirus in New York jumped dramatically. So that's also a negative thing that took place in New York City. So we're sitting there as we're looking at things that we still don't know about, although we're taking the right measures to mitigate it. The solutions are not now. Now, Kim, what we should do is a series on the cures for coronavirus. Yes, they're developing cures out there. A lot of them are in clinical trials right now. Some of them are old vaccines that were going to be used for the Ebola virus, if you remember that, or H1N1. And these things are right now going through clinical trials, and we should probably keep everybody updated. It is so difficult to get the information. In other words, when it comes to research and development, a lot of it is kept private, so it's extremely difficult. But we could do a whole series next week on upcoming cures for the coronavirus.
Well, and the way to do that is to probably get some of these people on with us. So maybe the district attorney in Seattle, Washington can line us up, or even be on himself and talk about it.
It's extremely difficult because if you're doing clinical trials and research, to be interrupted to be on television is a real pain. Well, one of the cures is what they're saying is just stay away from people. Now, that's pretty good for us people at IBM TV. We do everything on the internet anyway. But the vast majority of the population interacts with people. And that's a real problem, because anybody that you come in contact with is a potential carrier. Sorry.
Well, one of the things, too, that they had our Secretary of Health of North Carolina on TV yesterday. And, they were talking about closing all the schools. They closed all the K through 12. Their concern was kids who don't get to eat normally. And apparently they've set up a means so that the children do get their food, because we don't want people to starve to death from this.
Well, we went through drive-through yesterday. You can buy food at restaurants on drive-through.
But somebody's preparing that food. They might be sick.
I know. I totally agree. So the thing is, as we're driving through, I'm sitting there going, there's a bunch of people crammed in this restaurant, fixing the food, delivering the food, and we're supposed to feel safe because we didn't sit down with other people. We're not safe. If one of them had it, All of them have it. If all of them have it, they just passed it to us.
We just took it home and we ate it.
Yeah,
we digested it.
exactly. In other words, we're toast. And so the thing is, the good news about where I live out in the country, the best places are to go where people don't travel a lot, like in Montana, West Virginia. There are very few people travel in those two states, so they have very few. Cases of coronavirus. The heavily traveled cities, Seattle, Los Angeles, New York City, they have huge amounts of cases, but that's because these people actually get out of the city and they go visit other cities and other countries. That's where you find the real problem. So the best place to be safe is to live out somewhere away from a bunch of people, and then your chances actually go down dramatically.
Well, New York is getting ready to take some extreme measures. I received a tip very late last night. I'm waiting for somebody to contact me. We will be talking with the governor from New Jersey. We'll also be talking with a DNA expert in research and DNA. But this isn't just impacting our health and lives, which is the first and foremost. It will be a ripple effect impacting our finances, our means to be able to sustain ourselves. The measures that the Federal Reserve took, I think we all agree that it was more for the benefit of the top 1%. It didn't really help the hardworking man who doesn't know whether he can pay for his rent tomorrow or not.
Well, yeah, that unfortunately is true. I did a little economic survey on really what's going on. The top 1% in the United States own 50% of the investments in the United States. They get affected, but they still going to eat well. The next 10% own the next 40%, and they're just not going to eat as well. The bottom 50% own no financial assets here in this country. Half of our people have nothing, and they're not affected really by the market going down. Here's what they're affected by. They can lose their jobs and they can't eat. So the thing is, they're the ones that have the serious issue. And with that, I have to go. Okay, so the thing is, because I got another meeting at 11.
You have to go make a paycheck.
Okay.
Because some
which I got to go eat. So I will see you tomorrow. Send me the invite. I'll get on there.
I did.
Okay, no, for tomorrow.
I will.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you for the financial update, Nick.
Financial update. We're surviving. Okay, take care.
So, and as we discussed, previously, guys, we need some more shows and topics on what can people do while they're at home. Maybe teach them how to play chess. Maybe teach them some business sense, and start a startup masters project. Maybe people have ideas out there. They're at home. Embellish on those ideas, right? And right, Sasha?
I agree. I think we have to cover a lot of things because the 15th April is still far and we have around 30 days time. And if we can isolate ourselves and still we can do a lot of things online so that people can earn and they can get entertainment, they can discuss, they can share their feelings and views and feedback. I think we are still in a good world to live, but we have to make that world a little more better, and we have to unite and do the work in a coordination. That is what is required.
And I think what we need to do is take a look around your home and say, you know what, I've been meaning to clean my windows. I'm going to clean my windows. I've been meaning to do some things around my house. That take the blessing of this moment. It may not be a blessing in the future for you, but take care of what you can today and live to do some other things tomorrow. And that's all we're asking is let's get this contained. Let's find some ways to share with each other. Thanks for Facebook, and we can still communicate. We're not alone. We're not alone. And that's one of the reasons why I love this TV show. I love the Board of Advisors is we're from all over the globe, and we're learning we're not alone in this.
I agree.
It would be interesting to get some people on that are talking about finding a cure. Thank you for sharing that with us in Seattle. I'm sure that they've been working on this in China. I'm sure that they've been working on this in Canada. It would be great to get the resources to pull together and whiteboard.
True.
I was told a few weeks ago, and again, this is grapevine rumor. This isn't, sometimes there's some truth in grapevine rumor, but that this virus is similar to HIV, but but it's
Yeah.
in your body in 4 weeks, what takes years for HIV. I was also shared 2 days ago that they are literally, for some people, they're using the drug that they use for HIV to treat the people with this. So I have to wonder, what is the containment and not sharing with people and to panic, not sharing with people all of this, that they don't have enough of the drug to treat the people with.
True. So there was a press conference from WHO Directors General regarding the COVID-19 happening today. So I think we can play that press conference in the time being.
Okay,
You
let's
can share the
put
screen.
this on. All right. Oh, look at this, an empty boardroom. The CDC.
COVID-19 representative.
Can you turn that up?
Yeah.
How did you do that? That's pretty cool. I've been trying to figure that out.
No.
Turn it up there.
I think just have to little
Hey,
forward.
folks, what's great about watching us on IBM TV is that we are kind of funny. We're still struggling to use these. Wow.
General, we have
Now, is this setting a good example of stay at home?
Chief Operations.
I didn't get you.
We also have Dr. Mike Ryan on the phone who will be able to answer some questions. Before I give it to because it's just 2 small announcements that WHO has activated its business continuity plan, and this is in order to adhere to public health guidance as well as to deliver on its mandate. From today, all staff is performing their functions through teleworking arrangements. Only staff whose critical functions can only be performed on the site will have access to this system. Therefore, there will be no media presence on WHO today. WHO media team will continue to provide normal services through Skype and phone. Our regular briefings will be virtual press conferences, and our audiovisual team will continue to provide necessary support. So from now on, we will not have a journalist in the room, and we will inform you if that changes. The second information, because we already sent you the media advisory for tomorrow, WHO European office will convene a meeting, online meeting tomorrow, 17th March, about COVID-19 representatives from the health ministries of the 53 member states of WHO European region. After the meeting, WHO Regional Director for Europe, Dr. Hans Kluge, and emergency experts will brief the press on the current situation in the region, and they will be answering general questions on COVID-19. That press conference will be at 2 o'clock Central European time, and in the media advisory, you have details how to access this press conference. Again, tomorrow at 2 o'clock WHO Hospital Europe. I'll give the floor to Dr. Tedros for his opening.
Thank you, Tariq. And good afternoon, everyone. In the past week, we have seen a rapid escalation of cases of COVID-19. More cases and deaths have now been reported in China. We have also seen a rapid escalation in social distancing measures, like closing schools and canceling sporting events and other gatherings. But we have not seen an urgent enough escalation in testing, isolation, and contact tracing, which is the backbone of the response. Social distancing measures can help reduce transmission and enable health systems to cope. And washing and coughing into your elbow can reduce the risk for yourself and others. But on their own, they're not enough to extinguish this epidemic. It's the combination that makes the difference. As I keep saying, all countries must take a comprehensive approach. But the most effective way to prevent infections and save lives is breaking the chains of transmission. And to do that, you must test and isolate. You cannot fight it, like not stop this pandemic if we don't know who is infected. We have a simple message for all countries: test, test, test. Test every suspected case. If they test positive, isolate them and find out who they have been in close contact with up to 2 days before they develop symptoms, and test those people too. Every day, more tests are being produced to meet the global demand. WHO has shipped almost 1.5 million tests to 120 countries. We're working with companies to increase the availability of tests for those most in need. WHO advises that all confirmed cases, even mild cases, should be isolated in health facilities to prevent transmission and provide adequate care. But we recognize that many countries have already exceeded their capacity to care for mild cases in dedicated health facilities. In that situation, countries should prioritize older patients and those with underlying conditions. Some countries have expanded their capacity by using stadiums and gyms to care for mild cases, with severe and critical cases cared for in hospitals. Another option is for patients with mild disease to be isolated and cared for at home. Caring for infected people at home may put others in the same household at risk. So it's critical that caregivers follow WHO's guidance on how to provide care as safely as possible. For example, both the patient and their caregivers should wear a medical mask when they are together in the same room. The patient should sleep in a separate bedroom to others and use a different bathroom. Assign one person to care for the patient, ideally someone who is in good health and has no underlying conditions. The caregiver should wash
So I'm
their
going
hands
to kind of
after
stop
any
that for a
contact with
second,
their patient
so that we
or
can
their
talk a little
guests.
bit about what he
People
was really talking about there. You can go watch this as well on YouTube. It is the WHO, World Health Organization. CDC had done this. I watched him last week when he rang the bell. I'm ringing the bell, people. We need to take immediate action. Um, what he's saying is that we need to test more. Correct, Ankit?
So, so we have to take all the precautions necessary. And if someone is having some symptoms, so don't be shy, be calm, and then try to protect others, and also try to safeguard yourself and do the best practices to avoid the symptoms and to get more immunity so that you can fight with the coronavirus.
And one
It's
of the
still a
things
virus.
stated is that if you are in an isolated home where somebody has contracted it, is to wear a mask, right?
Yeah.
Wear a mask when you're around them. Help them. We need to help them wear gloves. I don't know that there's a true means to protect yourself, but take the measures possible. We know that hydrating is very important. They kept saying yesterday, if you're at home and you're sick, you should, but you know what? These are things you should do anyway. Drink a lot of water every day. If you have the regular flu, drink a lot of water. We know that there's a difference between flu symptoms and corona symptoms. And you need to go out to the CDC and look at these. These are the resources. There are other resources out there sharing what are the differences. But like Ankit says, be prepared, don't panic. Like Sasha says, let's live for another day, right? Let's take care of ourselves, stay at home, rest, watch some movies, read some books, start a new hobby. And nothing's wrong with getting one of those guns that measure your body temperature before you go out and about. Um, these are good things to watch and learn about what's going on.
Agree.
They're very serious about this, and this is world health. This isn't just the U.S. or India, Russia, Canada. This is world health. And if we look at the statistics for today, it has considerably gone up since last week. Also, the thing about the statistics is they're only providing us the stats Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday at noon every day, they will update the stats. Over the weekend, we're on our own. we got to figure it out ourselves. Monday, when we wake up, we have no idea what's going to happen. It could go up or it could go down, but it's going to spike either way because it's 2 days without stats. What do you have here for us, Ankit?
So I wanted to share that if you go to the global market, most of the countries' index are going down, but China is not that low as compared to the market as compared to the other countries, because all the markets are dependent on China, because China is the manufacturing hub for the world. So if you track the Chinese market in the past month or so, you'll find out that the market slowed down a little bit as compared to other countries who have 10, 15, 20% of downfall. I'll just yeah. So if I'll take a 1 month figure of China, so this is where they were and this is where they are. So it's not a much of a downfall as compared to other markets. So I think the people have already realized that, I mean, we can
That's
stabilize the market at some point of time, but Chinese, we are so much dependent on China that all the markets around the world goes down, but China is just slipped by a couple of percent. That's it. So I was reading about this thing, so I thought I should share about it.
no,
If you see all
great.
other markets, it's still in this good shape, but Chinese is going really down. If I open the Nasdaq,
Wow.
so Nasdaq's 1 month journey will be available in short time.
So, what do you think we
That's how
could
Nasdaq is.
do? What do you think we
So
could
from
do to protect ourselves financially? I wish Nick were back on, but if we were to whiteboard this as a worldwide problem, we're all financially smart.
I
What
think
do you think we need to do?
the people who have money, I think they have to take a bold step and try to help the world, because this is the time. People who are philanthropists, who are humanitarian, who wanted to do something for the society, this is the time to come forward and help everyone. I just know that Hong Kong is the only country where government is helping all the people, and they are trying to give them some kind of money or some kind of a monthly stipend so that they keep themselves safe and live a healthy life. So I don't know what to do, but I think that people who have money, they should come forward and do the needful. If you see the U.S. market, it was 9732 on 19th February, and today on 16 March, it's 6909, 16904. So the markets are going down because of China's issue, which started from the epicenter China. But Chinese market is not that down as compared to the other markets. That is a strange thing, but I don't know how and what's the story behind it. So Nick will maybe share details about it.
Do you think that this was just an overreacted panic on the stock market itself? That people just overreacted and should have held off a little bit?
No, I think it's a big trigger because all the economies in the world is, I mean, dependent on China, because China is a manufacturing hub. So when they know that something locked down in China, it will affect to the whole world. They never check their stocks, stock in the mean inventory basically. and because of the panic, the market goes down. So that was a big trigger. But if you compare the US market to the Chinese market, you'll find the difference that Chinese market is going at a very slow rate. I mean, they are down, but with 1 or 2%. But if you see the US market is down by 15%. So I also don't understand the economic behind it, but the basic understanding is that we are heavily dependent on China, and then we have to look for backup options.
Well, and I think there's a lot to be said there that we need some backup. I think this is a good lesson learned to have a backup option to in your business as well as in life. Some of us we have a backup plan for our finances. A lot of businesses they manufactured in one location. Now they've lost their product. They can't distribute the product that they were producing in China or in other countries that are now banned from travel. So this might be a sign of a new trend that we need to start bringing things back to our own community and supporting and supplying our own community from our own community. What are your thoughts on that, Sasha?
My thoughts are as follow. First of all, nobody knows when the market and economy will fully recover. The
Exactly.
market scenario and the right answer is never. That's the right answer. It will take dozens of years to recovery the economy, which is dislocated, lost. A lot of people will be, maybe they will survive coronavirus physically, but they will not survive it financially. So the point is that arguably all world is trying to fight coronavirus from the medical and health perspective. But what we use to win that war if people who will find themselves healthy but financially destroyed. So let's see if you take, let's see, a 70, 75 years old guy who survived coronavirus. Now, he can argue that, well, you know what? Even if there would be social distances and so on, so somebody didn't wash his hands on time, but you know what? I could still survive. It doesn't mean that I would necessarily caught that coronavirus. But now I still survived, but financially I'm dead. I'm lost. I might just as well lie down and die. And that's the answer. So, interestingly enough, yesterday I was watching CNBC, last half an hour of trading day, and there was a Trump with his team talking about the coronavirus, whatever it is. What's interesting is that the Dow, when they started, the Dow was down about close to maybe slightly over 2,000 points. And in half an hour that they were talking, and tanked all the way down to 3,000 points in a day. So, unfortunately, the president lost all his trust with lying on average 16 times a day. At least he's doing one thing smart, is he's trying to talk as little as possible, and he gives time to speak to his professionals. And that sort of muffles things and make them more respectable, and that's what he should learn and try to do. So the financial situation is grim. It will be well beyond any imagination what will come out of it. I can't even think of. The Dow probably will be. Well, let's think about something. In the midst of this financial crisis of 2008, Dow was at its lowest point, I think 6,500. Today, Dow is what, 20 some thousand? What's the reason that Dow cannot go just down to 6,500? There's no reason. And if that's happened, is the basically majority of people will be wiped out. Even most of the middle class will be wiped out. That's what we are looking at.
Yeah, no, it's that's something that we need to take into consideration because a lot of us, our retirement is sitting in that Dow, right? Um,
Absolutely.
that scares me because I had already decided to start retiring, and my money is being shot straight to nowhere. There's going to be a lot of people going to be homeless if we don't take some pro action. A lot of people who were relying 100% on the stock market to live off of. And how do we prevent that? Do we ask for a grace period of nobody charge people rent for a month while we stay at home? Do we ask that nobody charge anything for a month and we all recover together? I mean, is that realistic? I mean, do
Um,
we
I
just
think it's based on person to person and community to community, because some people are very gracious, and I think they will follow the rule that for a month they can leverage, or maybe a couple of months, but it's not going to happen for long. But I think the effects of coronavirus will definitely, I mean, give you bad results till the end of this year, I think, because we are still in very initial stage. But once we stop getting the items which we were expecting to get it on time, I think that's where the situation or maybe crisis fallen down.
well, then you look at, I mean, it is a huge ripple effect because if you look at, I can't make money, so then I'm not going out spending money in my community, and then those people aren't making money, so that it just keeps growing and growing and growing, and the ripple just keeps getting bigger, and then next thing you know, you've got communities that are shutting down. I mean, I've seen in my lifetime whole towns shut down because of something similar, just because the manufacturing of furniture went to another country as opposed to the town, and that whole town died. So we're if we are unable to spend our money in our community, that community suffers.
So,
So I mean,
but
and
I
how
think,
do we prevent that?
but I am more concerned that if maybe we can able to fight out with corona, but we have to be make sure that nothing of this sort happen in future. For that also we have to take very strict actions, because there are a lot of bad people, and there are a lot of terrorism, and a lot of people who get an idea that they can do something like this in future as well. So we have to be very strict with
It's
whatever we are trying to do.
That's something to consider when you look at a mass shutdown like this. That terrorists might take advantage of this by containing the virus and releasing it again another day. So you're absolutely right. These are things that we need to find the vaccine. This
Yeah,
is a job opportunity now.
true.
Students who are graduating from college seize this moment and utilize your knowledge and your intellectual property to try to find a solution. And I'm going to tell people, you know what? Somewhere ground zero is with this disease. We all say, oh, it was in animals and it transmitted. That was not the official ground zero. That animal had to come in contact with that from
Yeah,
somewhere. And
true.
that's the ground zero that we have to discover. Somewhere hidden in this earth, we have unearthed and unleashed this disease. It's probably been sitting dormant for millions of years. And with all the movement that we have on this earth and all the things that we do, the fracking, the global warming, the meltdown, somewhere this virus has slowly started to uncover itself. It started out as Mars, SARS, MERS. This is the third strain.
HIV, HIV, swine flu. So there are a lot of things. I mean, we could,
Yeah.
and we have overcome with all those viruses. But I think once we overcome with corona, but we have to be make prepare or make ourselves equipped that something like this never happened in future, and our kids and our future is still safe, and we still have a good world to live in.
And maybe we just need to invest more in a research center that never stops researching
So
these diseases to find a solution. All too often, we contain it and we go, phew, okay, that's over. And we don't continue the research. All the funding is cut and people move on with their lives until it happens again. We're a
True.
reactive world, not a preventive world, and we need to change our ways.
I agree.
And we've got graduation is coming real soon for students. This is a great opportunity to seize the moment and create some jobs for yourself instead of creating technology, which seems to be getting all the investment. Maybe some healthcare jobs out there, some new labs, research labs. How are they testing this? Is it a blood test? Is it a mucus test? Is it saliva? I don't know. Does anyone know?
I've
So
heard
they are,
that they're sending now in US, they're sending kits that you have to collect. I'm not so sure which saliva or some other samples, and you send it to a special laboratory, and you get results in 24 hours. I think that's available. But it's just a problem with the tests.
So I think we're nearing the end of our show for
Okay.
the day. It's time for us to hear from our little ambassador, Ami. Can you pronounce her name for me?
Amishi.
Amishi, the very
Amishi.
cute. Amishi is
Thank you.
4 years old, and she's going to tell us the new social habits. Are we ready? It disappeared. What happened?
There was some, I think, some issue with the net.
Try it again.
You have to share the
Hold on.
screen.
There we go. Let's try again. So there you go. That's our ambassador of the world sharing with us and the children of the world the good social manners that we have. Thank you, Ankit, for giving us the
Thank
update
you.
for today. Sasha,
Thank
thank
you.
you for joining us and giving us some good, wise words from Canada. I'll look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow on World News at IBM.TV. And that's a wrap. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you.
Hold on.